Well, the Fairy Tale 2004 episode 14, or Fairy Tale episode 189. This is the end of the grand magic moments. Yes, as Luxus, even though down, he's not out. He punches up Yura and they begin a violent fight that actually is pretty short, but still violent. As Mavis reminds Makarov that even every young one grows up and becomes stronger than you think. She begins to hold a speech about how their fearlessness, their will, and everything else are never are as beautiful as a halo, and that they should never be afraid and walk forward to the future. And then the fight between Yura and Luxus is over after a few clashes after Luxus uses his final art. Elsewhere, Grey and Juvia are on their knees, however they're not giving up. Giving the hand to Juvia, that's pretty romantic, Grey says they'll combine their power, and that's they do. They create a unison raid that when Shelia, who's a bit of a romantic, gets distracted by the fact that they're doing that, the attack knocks out both Leon and Shelia. Elsewhere, Ersa, angry at Minerva's moments, decides to finally end her territory magic by unleashing the second origin inside herself and into an armor that can bend the very reality itself and knocks out her too. With that, there is only one left. Yeah, it's Sting. He has been waiting all for this moment. He tells Fairy Tale where they are. However, Fairy Tale gets there, not afraid at all. Gagelia says, enough, this is the final battle. No, Grace says, who do you want to fight one-on-one? Sting want to fight all of them. Juvia reminds him that do not underestimate Fairy Tale. Then our Sting reminds everybody how he has awakened power with his power of his emotions. Luxus just thinks here that he's talking. And finally Ersa says, enough, Sting, this is the final battle. As Sting unleashes a big burst of magic power, suddenly he looks up and seeing that even though the moon is shining, even though it's night, Fairy Tale is standing there with no fear in their eyes, no hesitation in their eyes, and most of all, no backing down. This startles Sting because he sees that they are worn out. However, for some reason, he thinks that's pretty admirable. Well, not for some reason. It is admirable. And let me just tell you here, the score they played on that scene, that was just right. And Sting, getting awed by this, decides to surrender because even if he can't win, he feels like it wouldn't be a real win. With that, the winner of the Grand Magic game is Fairy Tale. But even Sting get a happy ending because somehow when Minerva teleported back Meliana after torturing her, she somehow also turned back Lecta, which she had captured, to barge in with Sting. With that, Sting and Lecter are reunited. Fairy Tale is the winner and once again the strongest guild in Fiore. But it's far from being over, really. As Natsu and Co charges against the thing, we can almost sense something bad is gonna happen. And very well, this episode also include the new opening and closing. The opening song Strike Back, a little bit more of a rap or whatever. It felt like this rapping song did not really match the emotion that the second half of this magic arc will have. Well, second arc, you know what I mean. And but that ending was very good and exactly that sadness that was needed. Now, but I digress. besides that, I think the songs were pretty good. And as I said before, that scene when they all stood tall and the music was scoring, and when Lecter and Sting were reunited, that was some beautiful scoring in the music. Finally, it's though, what is the mistake? Well, when the Fairytale gang was standing there, the only one that was shining was Yuvia, perhaps because she was right for the moon was right behind her or whatever. But for some reason that felt wrong. And others than I saw the original picture. The original picture in the manga looked more badass than that, but what the problem with the Fairytale anime is that when it comes to those close-up moments, for some reason they can never do it as much, and sometimes it looks a little bit sloppy. But I digress, that's minor things. That's basically this episode. What are we heading into now? Well, judging from the spoiler opening and those who has read the manga, we all know what. So I'll see you in that other. Bye. Give me your thoughts if you have any.